That's Bill Cohen for Straight Circle Martial Arts, and this is using your legs for power versus acceleration for power. There's three types of power martial arts. There's your standard meathead guy who just flails and chucks, which, don't get me wrong, works if you're big and strong and you have good reflexes. There are guys who come from the earth energy with their legs, and there are guys who accelerate. There's enough meathead stuff out there in the world. I'm not going to cover that. I want to show you the other two because odds are you learn them in your martial arts, and there's a reason to do them. My personal opinion is people learn this from weapons, and this is leg power. So it's no different if you watch a guy swing a baseball bat or a golf club or anything else. What happens is when you have something heavy and you're trying to drive it, the power actually comes from how you load your hips, and you generate this power through your body and your legs. So if your legs move and you generate force, that's where the strength is. It's not from the shoulders, it's from the legs. When you see a lot of traditional styles, you'll see stuff like that, where they get down and they generate power from the legs. Everything comes from the legs and the core and your center, which is where it should be. So if he grabs me, I don't want to fight him with my upper body. I want to drive with my core. I want to drive with my legs. And as I move him, you see how I drive with my hips. I'm going to drive and move with my hips. Everything is going to come from the fact that I moved, I shifted my weight foot to foot, and I got a lot of drive into these legs. In a lot of traditional arts, you have to understand that when he grabs me, I don't want to pick up with my arms or my chest. They just help. They're part of the kinetic chain. I come from the feet, I come from the legs, and I move him around. And because I'm using my legs to drive him, I have a lot of power. Generally, the first thing you're taught in martial arts. It's not easy to learn, but it's the simplest advanced thing to learn. I find it works really well in medium range. It's a little harder when we get in here, right? When we get in that tight, when you start using this, your moves have to be more refined. And that's where acceleration comes in. So acceleration is different. Acceleration comes from the feet. So I get this in class a lot. I'll be showing big motions to teach people the bigger movements. And then I'll start flowing and I'll start cheating because that's what I do. And everyone will be like, you didn't do that right. I said, no, you're right. I used my feet. So what I mean by acceleration is I'm trying to come almost from the ankles and I'm launching. So instead of me going like this and using this energy to move him, what happens is I pop from my feet, which makes things smaller and easier to use. So if he grabs me and I pop from my feet, I don't have to use that big energy. I just walk in. When I'm hitting a lot of times, what happens is, and we're close, because I'm here, I don't want to use that big twist because my hand's here. What I do is I'm going to pop with my feet and I'm going to accelerate like this through him. So when you get in tight and we're here and we're tight like this, I just learn to accelerate with my feet, pop up through him, or I pop through him like this. You'll notice there's I'll do it bigger so you can see it. See a pop with my acceleration. So if I'm here, I could club him with my weight, but if I just learn to propel my feet through him, very sharp and short, it's really violent and quick and it keeps my balance. Now I don't want to accelerate through him to where I lose my balance. I want this to be very sharp and short. It's very, you see a lot of traditional arts fail when they're in tight and they're wrestling around. And it's generally because their mechanics are too big. And that guy is just meatheading them around. And they can't hit because when we get into something tight and close, for me to try and use bigger earth mechanics with my legs to do that. But if I'm here and I drive with my feet, right? I'm going to do this I drive with my feet, I pop him. So a lot of times I'll hit, watch, I'll get a drive with my feet, see the forward motion, and then we're going to get a second drive, and then I can open him up and hurt him. So you can see it from the feet. Look, I'm going to drive, see that? Pop, 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 pop. If you can learn to do that, where you come and drive, and accelerate all the time from your feet, These little shots that are really close get really nasty because you're not using your hand to your shoulders to do this. You're exploding through with your ankles and your legs all the way up to your body, which creates a lot of power. So, don't get me wrong, when you first learn, it's okay to be bigger and use that energy and that mass to move people. It's better than meatheading them with your shoulders. But as you get better, you want to learn how to take your feet and launch. Pop, like that. And then you have to learn to do it in such a manner where you can do it on pretty much all angles, throwing any technique you want to throw. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to replace him. He's standing here. I'm trying to take his space, but not huge. Like, I don't want to get sloppy to where like I overlean. What I really want to do is I just want to accelerate really fast and through him at a high speed rate. What you'll find when you get this down is you can start throwing really short, violent shots that will set him up and at least give you space to keep fighting instead of getting into this nonsense where we're trying to do this. I'm hoping through traditional arts you probably already know how to use earth energy. This one, couple tips. You don't land with the foot first. If I go accelerate here and then hit, see how I'm behind? I need to hit him while my foot is still in the air. Number two, the reason acceleration is so hard and people fail with it so badly is because they move their feet and they lag with their hand. If he pushes, he's strong here. If his elbow goes behind him and he tries to push me, he has no leverage whatsoever. If I go to pop somebody and I launch with my feet and I let this arm drag, as I hit him, it's behind and there's no power on it. Your hand almost has to come out a little first, and then you pop with your feet so that you have alignment. There's a reason most styles have this here with this spacing, and you're not back here like this because it's weak. So make sure you have spacing when you do this. So if I had me like this, I'm not going to swing with my hips. I'm going to put my hand there, and then I'm going to accelerate and pop through him. I'm going to accelerate and pop through him. Or I'm going to accelerate and pop through him. I get myself to position, then I pop. When you see really good kata, like you'll see people actually, there's beginners where everything gets big, like this. But you see the advanced guys, they almost put the hands where they belong and they explode. They get there and then they explode. They don't throw the explosion at the beginning, they throw it at the end. So remember, this is progression in life. You're going from being a muscle guy to being a technician using your legs and your hips to being an exceptional martial artist using your feet and your space. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave comments and ask questions. Thanks very much for helping grow the channel.